Did you ever think when ISE was first starting that you guys would run out of space in a building that holds 80,000 people, 80,000 attendees?
I got to tell you, that was our least of our concerns at the time. When the first show in Geneva, the biggest concern was having a second show somewhere. We knew it wasn't Geneva. Actually, we went to Amsterdam, then Brussels, and then back to Amsterdam where we stayed. And no, our first show in Amsterdam was in one hall. We're now in 16 halls. So, it's the growth. Well, you knew we would grow. Once we got past those first 2-3 years, you knew we were on a good path to grow. The size to which we have grown was not something we anticipated at the time.
Okay. You've obviously seen growth in the AV market around the world. Are there any markets that are particularly surprising in terms of their growth, and are there markets where there's still some good potential to continue growing?
Oh yeah, there are many markets where there's great potential to grow. Surprising, it's all a matter of where you are on the technology adoption curve, if you will. It's quite interesting to see how AV is positioned. If you look at Western Europe and the US, we have a very long tradition of using AV. From way back when it was an opaque projector or 16 millimeter projector. You get into some new markets like the Middle East, for example, there is no long-term relationship with AV, and it's often viewed as a peripheral to IT. So you see its adoption differently in different places, but it's amazing how ubiquitous the AV product set has become globally at this point. Obviously, when you get to nascent markets, there's an issue of how much funding there is to go into those sorts of things. But if you look at the election, not this last cycle, but the cycle before in India, there were 36 trucks out projecting a hologram where the candidate could address the marketplace. So, the biggest fallacy you can have is to say, well, that a country doesn't appear to be on the same development scale or in the same time frame as our country, and then you go there and very quickly you go, well, that was a totally biased and erroneous assumption, because the industry is everywhere, and it is involved in so many aspects of our lives, from helping us find the way to find the right plane in an airport, to advertising on the road, to having meetings, to you and I communicating like this. It is certainly a global industry, and there are huge opportunities. I was so impressed with talking to the folks last week in Southeast Asia and hear about, we know certain markets there are big, like Singapore and Thailand, Bangkok, but hearing about the developments in Vietnam and in Cambodia and Laos, Myanmar, and talking to people who are doing business in those countries and how much scope there is for the growth of the industry. So I think it's, I couldn't imagine more exciting industry to be involved with.